Your morning team's got you covered. Flow 98.7 FM.
Okay, so we sure do. And yesterday, Jay, we were talking about mortgage rates and about, the housing market actually taking a dip, and now would be probably the best time for you to capitalize on buying a home.
Correct.
And we wanted to have a specialist in with us.
Yes.
And so many of you actually, no word of a lie, have emailed me asking, what is that company, Red? I heard you talk about it in the commercial. What's that company? What's that company? So this one's for you, Alterna Savings. If you've asked about them, we're going to help you out. We have no other than Nisha D'Silva joining us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Look at you coming through with the morning flame.
Yes, she is. She's coming with the morning flavor and adding her flavor to the show this morning. We're so happy to have you.
We're so happy. Especially at a time like this, I think it's a new year. People have the new vibe because it's spring, and everyone wants to not only, find somewhere great to live, but also make the right investments for themselves. Correct. And I know in my 20s, even though I'm only like 21,
there you go.
It was really important to learn how to save, how to, give back a bit, how to buy a little bit of some designer, I'm just saying, and also how to plan my future. And, I was very fortunate where prices were low and I was able to actually buy a home. So we want you to share a lot of light on that. Welcome, Nisha D'Silva, Mortgage Mobile Advisor, and you cover Mississauga, the GTA, Bramalea, Lakeshore, and also Streetsville and Brampton, of course, representing.
Yeah. Big market.
So,
I have a big market. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
You're welcome. A little bit about yourself. You've been doing this for how long?
Sure. Yeah, I've been in the financial services industry for 25 years.
Wow.
But about 5-6 years ago, I determined that I loved helping people get into their first home. That was the most exciting part of what I did. So I decided to make it a primary focus, and I went into the mobile mortgage world. So that's
beautiful. What does it mean exactly, mobile mortgage world? What does that mean?
So what it is primarily is we give you home buying advice on your schedule, where and when you want it. You want, a lot of times I find with our members, husband and wife are sitting down after a 9-to-5 work day, or they're, it's on the weekends and it's not in banking hours. You're not going to make it into a branch to sit down with somebody. So you can reach out to me via email or cell phone, and we can arrange a time that works for you and a place that works for you. I can come to your home. We can meet virtually. I mean, post-COVID, everything is virtual. So we live in this virtual space. So
this works for you.
Exactly. Sure. And it works for our members. It's great, because we can have a more in-depth conversation, start to finish, A to Z about home ownership.
Right.
I have a question. I hear about Alterna Savings and the credit union, and some people hear credit union and they don't really know how it differs from the bank. How does Alterna Savings work, actually?
Yeah, for sure. I love talking about this. In my career of 25 years, about 20 years of it has been in the credit union space. So a little background about Alterna Savings, and it's funny because when I talk to potential members or friends, they sometimes say, I've never heard of you guys, or you guys new. And we've been around for over 100 years. So we're far from a new company. But a credit union, if you ask me, credit unions are the best kept secret.
Okay.
In my career, I've had the opportunity to work for both. So when I say this, I speak from a place of experience. But the biggest difference between a bank and a credit union is that banks are for-profit organizations that focus on making money for their shareholders. And credit unions are organizations focused on making money for their membership. And for that simple reason alone, the way in which we do business is completely different.
Understood.
Yeah, and we have the full suite of financial service products, just like the banks.
So you're legit, basically.
We're legit. Exactly.
They legit, okay.
But as a member, your experience is much more personalized. It's more relationship built. As I mentioned, when we connect with you and we start a home buying journey or a savings plan or an RSP, it's a start to finish. It's a relationship. It's very different than a one and done one sort of, you've got this or you've got that. So we're focused on offering lower fees and lower rates.
Wait a minute, what's your fee right now for variable?
Variable.
These days,
unfixed.
you get so scared to say rates because rates are moving
you gotta tell
so
me
quick.
off the air.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you gotta talk to me.
Absolutely.
So for those getting into the housing market,
Yep.
and they're not sure where to begin, what is the best advice that you can give them?
I guess the best advice I can give is to meet with someone like me, a mobile mortgage advisor, and actually have the preliminary conversation or a pre-qualification conversation. I think the biggest thing I see is that people don't think they can afford to buy, or they don't know where to start.
And they give up.
Exactly.
Right.
And especially with the market the way it is, people, I mean, everybody knows that the housing market's gone insane. And so they're like, oh, I'm never going to be able to afford anything. I'm never going to be able to get in. And so I think the biggest thing I would say is you'd be surprised. I mean, there's so many programs out there with as little as 5% down, you know, you can get into the market. So have that conversation. Know exactly what you can afford. And if it's not today, at least we can put a plan in place to have you be able to afford something down the road. So
I love that.
And what if they're renting right now and they're thinking, like, what do I do? Do I buy now? Or do I continue to rent because the prices are crazy? I know people in that situation. They're like, let me keep my money under my mattress. Don't keep it under the mattress.
Don't keep it under your mattress.
Legit. But you know, people do that. Don't do it. And they're thinking, you know, like, let me just hold out. What do you think?
For sure. I get this question all the time too. And I can't say I'm 100% against renting. Renting is, there's a lot of people out there that love to rent. They feel comfortable renting, and that's perfectly okay. Everyone's sort of created differently and their needs are different. But all I would say is, although everybody's talking about interest rates going up, they're still extremely low. Let's keep in mind, you know, everybody's in a panic because the media is saying interest rates are going up. They're still, I mean, a variable is still under 2%. Like, it's crazy how...
And they're regulated.
Exactly.
Too. The government regulates it. So even though there is an increase, it's not a huge increase like what the states thought.
Exactly.
Knock on wood.
Exactly. And I mean, all of these things, the great thing about living in Canada is that we've already built in, when we're qualifying you based on there being increases in the market. The qualifying rate is always higher, and everyone, I mean, all of us, we get upset at the stress test. We hear it all the time. That stress test. But that's actually in there. It's built in to make sure that people aren't getting themselves into trouble. And they're getting into something.
Yeah, that's a good point that you make, because people don't, Jay, you know, as a homeowner, it's like, it's not just about your mortgage. You have your property tax. There's so much more that you have to factor in.
Condo fees.
Miscellaneous is coming time and time again.
I always joke about this, but if you're renting and your washer goes, your dryer goes, you're going to call your landlord. As soon as you buy, you're that landlord that's got to figure out, now, how do I afford to, you know, replace the washer, replace the dryer? So, you know, being able to count all those things in, and to your comment about, you know, how do I get started? When we do that plan, we make sure we buffer in this amount so that we're not using every cent to try and get you to qualify. And then if any of these things come up, you know, you can't afford your home. So,
and also, you know, let's talk about multi-ownership. This is a concept that's actually going around. A lot of people are teaming up and they're saying, hey, and I don't mean with an X that's going to get you in trouble financially. I mean, no, I got to put it out there because somebody right now is trying to get poached by somebody trying to make them do something. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about somebody equally responsible and that you trust.
Exactly.
How does that all work?
So this, again, is another product that's been really, really successful. I mean, these days, home buying can be so intimidating, and what you can qualify for individually may not be something that, you know, that you want. So, you know, having the idea that maybe buying a home with a parent or an aunt or an uncle or a friend and pooling your money together and being able to qualify that way. I mean, it only requires 5% down payment. So your dream home may not be that far away if you can kind of, like you said, find the responsible individual who come in with you, who will come in with you and look at home ownership that way. So Alterna Savings has this multi-ownership mortgage product, which again, as a mobile mortgage agent, we'd love to sit down and discuss. But it's, you know, again, I go back to, there's so many opportunities. Don't think, oh, I just can't afford and jump out. There's so many different ways you can get into the market today.
That's beautiful.
I love it.
I've been getting some texts while we're on the phone right now going, she she's talking what I want to hear. How do we get a hold of you? Like, let us know, really. They don't even want to wait anymore. They're on the line going, how do I get a hold of her? Let us know how they can get to hold of you.
Absolutely. So you can reach me by email or phone. My email is Nisha, my first name, Nisha .D'Silva, DSILVA at alterna.ca. You can reach me at the Alterna website. We have a page that actually, when you go to alterna.ca, it'll say want to speak to a mobile mortgage agent, and if you click on it, you'll actually see my link, my email, my cell phone number.
Perfect.
Please feel free to reach out. I can tell you, it doesn't even mean that we have to start an application.
Right.
Just having the conversation.
With the knowledge.
It's all got to, exactly. I would say knowledge is everything these days. So just even knowing where you stand. And as I said, if it's not today, it's tomorrow. We can work through where we need to get. If it's starting a savings plan, if it's knowing about first-time home buyers,
which is good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which helped me the first time.
Exactly.
You got to utilize that. There are tools that you can take advantage of and use.
Absolutely.
They just probably need somebody to help them. And I know we all do. And especially with the prices being so high, a lot of us get intimidated by it. One final question. What are you guys doing with the community? Because right now the community is actually reaching out because of the commercial and because of having you here.
Yeah.
I've received emails. Jay, right now we see text messages. But I know you guys are working with the community as well.
Absolutely. And I can tell you, I've been with Alterna for about 10 years. And what I love about this company is how involved they are in the community.
Beautiful.
And how they typically offer support where the banks tend to avoid.
Okay.
I mean, we have a great microloan program specifically for Black entrepreneurs, which is something that I don't think is being offered anywhere else.
Nice.
And we're very open to supporting people at the time when they need the support the most. I think that's the feedback we get a lot of times. As financial institutions, we're always going to chase you when you've got millions in the bank and you're an established professional and you got where you need to go. But who's going to help you get there? And Alterna, and I can speak this very honestly, is very focused on helping you get there.
They are.
Thank you so much, Nisha D'Silva, Mortgage Mobile Advisor for Alterna. Thank you for sharing your light, and thank you for sharing with us the best way that we can all invest and make positive choices for ourselves. Because really and truly, that's what it's all about. I know Jay's doing it every day. We sit here with a calculator. Ask Jay.
Yes.
We're like about buying another property and thinking about different things. So
absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. And I just want to say, a little birdie told me it's your birthday today.
It's my birthday.
So I just wanted to wish you a very, very, very happy birthday.
Hey, I look like a bird.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
And we have treats for you, courtesy of E-Cakes. And does that mean I get mortgage free for a year? Can we work on that? Can we
Here we
please?
go.
Right now, thank you so much. Let's get into this music. Coffee, pull up.